So, what could a map maker from the 1500s possibly teach us about getting seen by AI today? Well, as it turns out, a whole lot. We're about to unpack how a simple map-making problem from way back in 1570 actually holds the key to your business's entire digital future. This right here, this is the central idea for everything we're going to cover. And it's not just some clever analogy. We're going to see how this is a fundamental rule that dictates how AI sees, understands, and ultimately decides whether or not to trust your business. I want you to picture this. It's Amsterdam, 1570. The legendary cartographer Gerardus Mercator has just put the finishing touches on his life's work. It is, without a doubt, the most precise map of the world ever created. The coastlines are perfect, trade routes are all there, but there's one massive problem. A problem so big, it makes the entire map worthless to the sailors and merchants who need it most. This is the big puzzle we're going to solve together. Because the solution Mercator figured out all those centuries ago, it's the exact same solution businesses need to use right now to stop being invisible to AI. So stick with me, because the answer to this directly affects whether you get found or just forgotten online. Okay, so let's dig into the problem itself. See, Mercator had basically solved the challenge of navigation, but in doing so, he created an even bigger one, the challenge of interpretation. So here was the dilemma. It wasn't that the map was wrong, far from it. It was jam-packed with accurate information. But a sailor looking at it had no way of knowing if a symbol on the coast was a safe harbor or a dangerous reef that would tear their ship apart. All the data in the world was right there on the page, but it was completely locked away because nobody had the key to its meaning. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? It was a masterpiece of information that provided zero understanding. This exact conflict, having tons of information but no way to make it actionable, is precisely the problem so many of us are facing with artificial intelligence today. So how did Mercator solve this seemingly impossible problem? Well, not with some complex formula, but with an act of revolutionary simplicity. He added a legend, a key, just a simple box in the corner of the map that explained what every single symbol actually meant. Now, to us, that seems so obvious, right? But at the time, this was an absolute breakthrough. It changed everything. And look at this. The legend didn't add any new information to the map itself. The symbols for mountains and rivers and harbors were already there. All it added was meaning. It was the instruction manual that turned a bunch of raw, confusing data into usable, life-saving knowledge. This is the core principle that Mercator proved. Information, no matter how accurate or abundant it is basically useless until you give people or machines the tools to interpret it. And that very principle is about to take a 450-year leap right into the heart of modern AI. So let's make that jump. Let's see how this exact same problem is playing out right now, shifting from 16th century sea charts to the complex algorithms that run our digital world. Here it is, the direct parallel. It's actually pretty simple. The map from back then, that's your website and all your content today. The sailor trying to make sense of it all, that's artificial intelligence. And that all-important legend, the key that unlocked everything, today, we call that schema markup. So what exactly is schema? Don't worry, it sounds way more technical than it is. It's basically a special vocabulary of code that you add to your website. It's totally invisible to human visitors. It's a set of instructions written exclusively for machines. It's the digital legend that tells an AI, hey, this piece of text isn't just a random word, it's the official name of our organization. Or, this isn't just a bulleted list, these are the specific services we offer. Without these clear labels, an AI is in the exact same boat as that 16th century sailor. It's just guessing. Is the word agency on your site a description of your business or just a random word in a sentence? Is founder a job title or just a verb? Without schema, the AI simply doesn't know. It can see your content, but it can't classify it, and that leads to mistakes, confusion, and ultimately it just makes you invisible. Okay, so we get the why. Now let's talk about the how. How do you actually go about building this digital legend for your business? Well, it's done through a structured process. The source material for this calls it the Interpretive Clarity Protocol. This isn't just about sprinkling a little code on your site and hoping for the best. It's a systematic, four-step way to engineer your digital identity so that machines can understand you perfectly. The whole goal here is to make a fundamental shift in how you think. You're moving beyond just creating content that sounds good to a human reader, and you're moving towards building a data architecture that is perfectly, unambiguously clear to a machine. You're aiming to be not just visible, but truly interpretable. So let's bring this all home.
Let's talk about the concrete actions you can take right now to make your business make sense to AI.
Now, this number represents both a massive problem and a massive opportunity. Right now, most businesses have schema markup on less than 20% of their pages. That means the vast majority of the internet is like a map without a legend. It's all there, but it's completely unusable to AI. So where do you even start? Right here. First, just do an audit of your site. See what, if anything, you have now. Then, get the basic organization schema on your homepage. That's like the master entry for your legend. After that, add service schema to your offering pages and article schema to your blog posts. And finally, and this part is absolutely key, you have to validate it. And don't worry, validation isn't complicated. Google gives you a free tool called the Rich Results Test. You literally just paste in your web page's address, and it tells you if your schema is working and if there are any errors. This step is non-negotiable because, trust me, broken schema is much, much worse than having no schema at all. When it all comes down to it, this is the strategic shift we're talking about. It's about moving from just being visible to being interpretable, from having lots of information to creating actionable knowledge, and from simply writing unlabeled sentences to engineering structured data that machines can cite with total confidence. And so, I'll leave you with this one question. After everything we've talked about, from Mercator's ancient maps to modern-day markup, I want you to take a hard look at your own digital presence. Is it just a collection of pretty symbols that AI can't use? Or have you provided the legend, the key that it needs to navigate directly to you? Because the answer to that question will define your future online.